Good morning, preppers. Happy prepping day to you. Time is short. Time is short and tired too. Ashley and I, with a few of the kids that went with us, went down to the Self-Reliance Expo in Tennessee, which we had a great time, especially meeting a lot of you. And it's really nice to be able to meet with a lot of like-minded people, be able to talk about the same issues that are going on. And of course, not simply talking about the bad things that are happening, but how to actually remedy it, how you can actually be prepared for what is coming. But coming back, we're talking about a 10-hour drive, over 10 hours for us. Of course, on the highways, the interstate, you've seen this, countless semi-trucks of our goods through interstate commerce going across the country, our great nation, and trains too. I've seen a lot of those. And of course, when we talk about diesel, we're not even talking about the train strike, which is still looming. We'll talk more about that as we get closer for the votes on this. We're seeing a potential crippling of the economy between the strikes, but also because of the diesel prices. Because understand that if we have these 25 days of diesel less, which I made a video about this in the past, that, we only have 25 days of diesel if the intake stops. And of course, a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, we're not going to have diesel left in 25 days. That's not true. It could be true if the input stops, but picture like a barrel. You actually have a amount of diesel going into the barrel and amount of diesel coming out from the barrel. And right now the barrel levels are so low because the input has been severely diminished, so we're low. If it keeps getting lower, that's where we have to worry about things. And of course, I'll try to keep you as updated as possible. But stay with us, because I want you to understand that even if that's not the case, when we're looking at diesel shortages and eventually perhaps diesel rationing, it is not going to be as simple as just running out of diesel. No, we're not going to run out of diesel anytime soon, from what I see. But it doesn't mean we're out of the woods. So let's go ahead and check out our first article. We'll look at a few today. U.S. facing diesel shortage, prices likely to spike. And that's the first thing you have to understand, that right now, out of any time in the year, what are we looking at? We're looking at the harvest coming in. We're looking at diesel needed for the tractors. We're looking at the trucks to haul that produce, all the produce that comes in. Of course, it only can last so long before it starts to rot away. We're looking at holiday season coming up. We're actually looking at like the biggest economical shopping day of the year coming up as well in a few weeks. And as prices go up and up and up, it's more than simply just not having enough money to be able to cover our food bill. We're definitely looking at shortages facing this as well. And they talk about here the 25 days of diesel, which again, don't get too scared about that. We do have more than 25 days. Even the articles, I don't like this because we do have more than 25 days. It's just if our input stopped completely, we'd have 25 days. We are looking at it could drop below 25 days. So that's something you need to really look at and understand that the 25 days could go down. And that's what we have to keep our eye on. So let's go ahead and take a look more at the article. Factors impacting the shortage could be a U.S. banning Russian imports. There we go. Refining capacity being down to seasonal work, plus high demand. All those things coming into play, making kind of like a perfect storm of diesel. Okay, we talked about that before. Let's go to our next one. Fuel company issues diesel shortage warning, saying conditions rapidly developing. Now, this is actually where it frightens me because, as I mentioned, right now, do we have a diesel shortage? Perhaps. We have 25 days, but there's still some coming in. The diesel levels are staying relatively level, but it's developing and starting to go to the point where it could be going down further. Prices going up, spiking, and that's where we're talking about some more detrimental problems facing us in our near future. A major fuel supply and logistics company is raising a red flag about the upcoming diesel fuel shortages. I don't think they meant the word foul shortages. Foul shortages, that's great. But instead, we're talking about poor pipeline shipping economics, historically low diesel inventories. That's what we're talking about, causing shortages in various markets throughout the Southeast. Wait a second, because for a while they were talking about simply the Northeast or the East Coast, but now they're actually seeing sporadically in areas like Tennessee. Interesting. What's going on here? States expected to experience serious effects of shortages include Maryland, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And the administration is keeping a close eye on it and probably not doing anything about it except robbing our strategic reserve. But don't think this is simply just now a Southeast problem. It's going to cascade because understand if the prices go up there and shortages occur there, then all the different companies that produce diesel fuel and from the refineries and the trucks, we'll start sending it there. We're going to be seeing the same kind of shortages nationwide. This is not just a Northeast. This is not just a Southeast. This is not just an American problem. This is not just the United States either. Europe's energy crisis, because of this, raises firewood prices. Now, again, I don't think I can be shipping a whole lot of firewood from Poland to be able to heat my home. But of course, we actually have all these things connected together. They talk about as far as gas, of course, they're actually feeling a serious pinch. And they're talking about gas rationing this winter. And it's going to be really horrible and cold. Now, because of this, they're talking about not only are they going to have problems with the fuel oil, but now they're actually going to cascade. Understand this whole thing is about cascading effects. Fuel oil shortages, diesel oil fuel shortages, and now suddenly they're looking at firewood problems. What do you heat your home with? Probably not diesel. I don't know of anybody who heats their home with diesel, but understand that if the diesel prices go up, especially because of heating, we're going to be seeing all of the different types of heating sources increasing. In the United States, I would not actually put it past, of course, firewood as well. Up in our area, we have tons and tons of logging, lots and lots of firewood available, even firewood delivery services, which run on trucks, which run on diesel. So, of course, it's going to cascade down. This is not just a European thing. This is not just a United States thing. This is a worldwide problem that we're facing this winter. Winter's barely started. I mean, up here in Michigan, the leaves are falling, and it's getting into the 50s or 60s, which is beautiful. But we're still not even close to experiencing winter for most of the country, and I think everybody needs to understand we need to be ready for this winter, because that's actually the part that's going to be really difficult for us. Even more so, and the most frightening part, how a diesel shortage could cripple the United States economy. That's exactly what I am concerned with more than anything else. Supplies have been their lowest level since 2008. Yep, we're talking about, they actually have 25.4 days as of October 14th. Yeah, this goes back a little bit, obviously. The article itself doesn't, but the information. And so now they're talking about pandemics, all these things that actually are causing the problems. But I'll be honest with you, I'm less concerned with what causes the problem, and I'm more concerned with there is a problem. And that's what we have to look at, because understand that we're only in the very beginning of trying to keep warm. We're only at the very beginning of winter. We're only really, in a lot of ways, at the very beginning of harvest. They're harvesting some stuff up here in Michigan, but in a lot of places around the country that haven't even started yet. And we're already seeing some harvest levels low in a lot of locations. So between the diesel, between this 25 days, between even the fear of this, as I'm seeing mainstream media push this, there's a fear that we only have 25 days. That's the worst news article headline in the world. Well, actually, it's the best news article headline because it actually gets people to read their article. But it comes down to this. Their article should read, our levels are at 25 days, and if we don't try to replenish that, then we may actually have problems with fuel oil, diesel oil in the future. You understand? Because even though our levels are at 25 and maintaining 25, if more starts coming in, it'll go up. If more starts going out, it'll go down. But the way all the articles are reading, it's almost like they're trying to make you fear. They're not trying to. They're trying to make it fearful for you. They're trying to sell newspapers. They're trying to sell magazines and get you to click on their news articles and YouTube channels for that matter too. So again, at Goshen Prepping, not trying to say we're completely different from most, because there's really good channels out there. It's not about the problems. It's about what you need to do to prepare. It's what I need to do to prepare. And we need to do our due diligence to be ready for this, because I could see this becoming, practically speaking, catastrophic. And again, I'll say it all the time until I'm blue in the face. I think we're heading for another depression. And there's nothing that could usher that depression in faster than crippling our economy because of the lack of diesel fuel. It is the heartbeat of the United States. It is the blood that actually makes it flow in commerce. Without it, as a country, we're going to die. So keep preparing, guys. Get everything ready. Try to get all your stuff in your house as you need to, especially before winter. We're going to have some winter series videos coming up soon as far as being ready for that too. But we got to be ready for this, guys, because it very well could be the nail in our coffin, economically speaking.